I didn't fly out the specific quarantine area. I flew out Turin, which is next to Lombardy.
That'll do.
And it was obviously announced in advance that they were quarantining Lombardy. And so we knew the night before we flew yesterday morning. And we were a bit worried that there were going to be people sort of fleeing the quarantine area while they still had a chance.
Yes.
The flight was definitely more full on the way back than it was on the way out a week ago.
I saw a flight to Rome earlier today. Someone took a photograph, and the captain had just announced, absolutely empty. And I've got some figures on the hospitality industry that I'll share in a moment, but there's some big worries there on the horizon. So go on, you got on the flight. It was fairly full, as you'd expect.
As you'd expect. There were a lot of coughs. I mean, I don't know if we're noticing it more because we're all sort of a bit on edge.
Of course we are. I just noticed myself cough a minute ago.
So there were quite a few coughs. The extent of the information on the flight was an announcement about 20 minutes before landing where they said, if you have any of the symptoms like a fever, like a cough, please make yourself known to the cabin crew.
Right.
I locked eyes with someone who'd spent the entire flight coughing, and he sort of looked like a rabbit in the headlights, and noticeably did not announce himself to the crew.
No, that's a worry.
There was one person in the hotel we nicknamed Patient Zero because she had such a hacking cough, and thankfully she wasn't near us on the same flight back, but...
And there'll be plenty of people with hacking coughs who haven't got coronavirus. I mean, we have to make that absolutely clear. And then some people spend their lives... I mean, one thinks of Dot Cotton of EastEnders fame. Presumably she has a wheezy hacking cough, and people who smoke similar amounts of cigarettes will be similarly afflicted. But still, you'd worry in the current climate. That's the point.
I mean, I wouldn't go on holiday in the current climate if I say it was really, really quite bad. I really cannot emphasise that enough. But on arrival in Italy a week ago, we were temperature tested. As we left Italy, we were temperature tested. There was nothing on arrival in Birmingham. I flew through arrivals, picked up my bag, out into the wide world along with everyone else that had a cough.
So unless you brought yourself to the attention of the flight crew, absolutely nothing happened.
Literally nothing. And we obviously, before we went, things started going a bit pear-shaped in Italy, and we were sort of thinking, do we actually go on a holiday? Do we waste?
Yes.
Do we waste the money? We eventually decided that because the area we were going to wasn't yet affected, it was better to go, and it was probably going to arrive in England, whatever we did. I'm self-isolating anyway because of work, and it seems sensible, so I'm not going to see my parents or grandparents for 2 weeks just because I don't want to be that on my conscience.
Good for you, but one thinks of the bloke on the plane who was actually spooked and freaked out by the prospect of telling the flight crew that he had a bad cough. I mean, so he could cancel you out is the point that I'm making.
Well, no, I agree. And I was going to say I do understand the toilet paper though.
Go on.
Well, because
hang on, don't spoil it for me. I'm hoping to get another half an hour out of this. Go on, Ed.
Well, I was going to say we didn't know if we were going to have to self-isolate. Yeah. So I can understand people. The current advice for me is to only self-isolate if I feel unwell. Yeah. So I'm taking my temperature 3 times a day just in case. It's the first sign of a fever.
Well, can I say thank you to you for taking it all so seriously? Some people, no doubt, would accuse you of overreacting, or I think snowflake is still the insult du jour for the furiously hard of thinking. But I would rather everybody took it too seriously than not seriously enough.
Well, I will say I'm not fully. I'm self-isolating from my parents, but
yes.
I'm still going to go shopping unless I see any kind of sign of.
You're going to try and stay away from the vulnerable groups, which include your aged Ps.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes. But I can. If you don't know whether you're actually going to be self-isolated, I can very much understand wanting to make sure you don't run out of toilet paper because that'd be quite unpleasant.
Well, would it? Well, it's not exactly. I mean, let's not go into too much detail. You might have missed the top of the show. I did acknowledge that I can understand that mentality, but I don't feel it. You do feel it. I don't feel any frisson of fear at the prospect of waking up in a bog roll free house. We'd be, you know.
Well, I mean, I
you've not got a bidet? Everyone has a bidet, don't they? Let them eat cake.
All right, metropolitan Chiswick.
We could use could use a plastic bottle if it really push came to shove. Give it a squeeze. You've got a homemade handheld bidet. Seriously. It's a bottle bidet. They use it in a lot of other countries.
Well, at least everyone knows how to properly wash their hands after doing something like that.
Well, yes, but isn't it interesting to reflect? And I'm not going to... All right, our producer says I'm not allowed to say it yet. I'm going to say it before 1 o'clock, all right? Because it's a really interesting reflection of our normal hygiene levels that have come into rather stark relief. Ed, I wish you the best. Keep in touch. I hope you're fine.